Voy a hacer por olvidarte, mujer, mujer, que al cabo ya todo es inútil, se acabó la esperanza mía, ya no tengo a quien querer. La mujer que yo quería por otro me abandonó. Se me fue y no quiero verla. Ojalá y que nunca vuelva. Para mí será mejor que vengan botellas que quiero olvidar. A esa perjura que me hizo llorar. Quiero también disipar todas mis penas y de su nombre no volverme ni a acordar.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say that I'm very, very excited for today's episode, and this is going to be the very first episode ever on my music podcast, which I have just launched. And thank you for joining me. We're going to be live streaming on our Facebook music page and on YouTube. So I'm really excited. I'm actually very nervous. I normally don't get nervous. This is actually going to be recorded as well on professional audio for Spotify and iTunes and everything else that's out there for this platform. Welcome again. This is the Pedro Music Podcast, and a lot to say today. I think I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Please let me know if you hear me nice and clear, because most of this audio is going to be recorded into the studio for professional services on Spotify and other platforms, and the video broadcast that's actually coming to you guys is via Facebook and YouTube. Can you all hear me? It'd be nice. All right, appreciate that. Luis Alberto Silva. Hey, another Luis is actually been in the music industry for a long time, and it's funny because every time I see this guy, it looks like he doesn't age a single day. But thank you for letting me know that you can hear me nice and clear. What this podcast is about, guys, is I've always wanted to share my music career with everyone. I want to share my life in the music business, and I'm very, very excited to be able to bring that to you guys. And this is episode 1. The first episode is, and the first couple episodes are going to be about my music career, where I'm from, my roots, and my beginnings, how it all got started. So let's go ahead and begin. And I thank you once again for streaming. I want you guys to join me as the beginning of this show. You can find me on Spotify and on iTunes, or to stream anything you use for streaming, Amazon Music under Pedro Garcia Music. You can find me there. So let's go ahead and get started. And man, I don't know why I need to relax a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous because I've decided to pretty much, this is a tell all. This is everything. I'm not gonna hold back on anything. I'm gonna let it all come to where it all began and where I'm at now, what I feel I can still do, and where I plan to go with my music. A lot of things have happened in the past couple of years. Amazing, probably the best. I thought I had reached some of the best times in my career, in my life, in music, and actually the past 2-3 years in my life is probably the the best that I've ever encountered. So I'm going to share that with you in the future episodes. But for today, we're going to start off where I was born in Reynosa, Tamaulipas, Mexico. Saludos a toda la gente de Reynosa. Thank you to everybody that tunes in from Mexico, from Reynosa, from around the area. And so I was born in 1977. You can do the math. Yo soy clásico. I'm a classic. So my parents met in Reynosa. There's an area there. It's called La Calle de Taco, and that's where we grew up. My brother and I, my little sister, and just amazing times back in the day where we used to be able to play soccer on the side of the road there in Reynosa. I don't know that you can do that anymore, but those were good times. So my grandparents, they both of my grandparents, thank God, they still live in Reynosa. On my mom's side, my dad's side, they lived over there for a while, but they live in McAllen, Texas, and my grandmother has passed away. My grandfather still likes to play the guitar. He sings here and there. I've gotten a chance to do a duet with him, which is amazing because you can keep those memories forever. So that's as far as where I was born. That's where I was born, in Reynosa, Tamaulipas. I live in Edinburgh, Texas, and I've pretty much lived all my life in Texas. So, word out. Basically, I wasn't one of those kids that, from the early age of 4 or 5, at least that I can remember, that picked up an instrument or played anything. I pretty much just banged on things and sang a couple of songs here and there, but I didn't really pick up that early in life. I'm going to go into the 80s and 90s pretty much as I was growing up. Didn't really hit the music career until I was in high school. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, a lot of those one-hit wonders were the big things in that. I've always had a passion for mariachi, and that's I've been a big follower of Vicente Fernandez since I was young. I remember going to that palenques. So my parents would take us, me and my brother. Sometimes my uncle would take us, and we would always get like really close seats. And I'm talking about we were kids, and you're there early, you see the cockfights, and then you see the betting going on, and then it doesn't start till like 12 o'clock midnight, and he goes on till 3 a.m. And those are the type of memories that stay with you forever. So I saw Vicente Fernandez a numerous amount of times, and I always wished and thought, like, if ever one day I'd be able to sing with Vicente Fernandez just a duet, and that wish came true one day in 2008. That happened. I sang in Reynosa with Vicente Fernandez, and that's another episode that I'll share with you guys as far as how that happened, and you can still find that on YouTube, where I can share that memory with you guys. So growing up, again, I was in high school. Well, come back to as far as the music goes. I played the cornet in junior high, and that's how I got into music. I guess I was in the band, and that's the only kind of music that I can read. I really don't know how to read music. Excuse me. Matter of fact, I don't know how to read music. I'm just the type of person that can put things together with my ears, with what I hear. I can play a little bit of piano, just put where I want to hear the keys. I have a piano accordion as well, where I can put some tunes together. And now, and at my age right now, I've written songs before, but I never put them together. Now I'm actually writing a couple of songs, and so it evolves. I don't know, it's different for everybody. But in junior high, I played the trumpet, the cornet. Then in high school, my mom went ahead and my parents went ahead and got me out a trumpet. And at that time in high school, I was in high school. I graduated in 1996. So, mariachi was around, but wasn't that big yet. Now, some of these mariachi schools are just phenomenal. They make it to state and do all that kind of things. So I'm really, really proud of what the teachers have, how that has evolved nowadays in the mariachi world in high school. I believe now there's a class for all that, but it was a little different for me because in high school, I was one of those guys that would just like to hang out with, party out and where the party's at and things like that. And kind of I still kind of am like that. But on a serious note, in high school, man, it was just like it was kind of embarrassing to be part of the, because it would kind of like make fun of the mariachi group, I guess. Not make fun, but let's say nobody really paid attention. And I was like, man, this is like the most beautiful music to me, in my opinion. And how could, like, but I started getting more into it since I played the trumpet in high school, and they were like reaching out to me, say, hey man, we need a trumpet player in the mariachi group. So wasn't anything with singing at all. So um, I went ahead and I joined the group. I can't recall whether I stayed the whole time, but that was the beginning of my mariachi journey. I remember I learned a song or two, and I think that's the same songs that I played over and over again. I never really expanded more into that. So I would just be kind of like, okay, do I want to tell people I'm in the mariachi group? Or do I not want to? Kind of at the same time, where you're young, you kind of just want to just stick with what you're doing. And but you know what? I mean, one time I was out there at lunch, and I remember seeing this guy, and I haven't seen him forever. They used to call him La Gallina, like actually, I don't know why. Well, I know why they used to call him La Gallina, but so this guy was, I think his name was Jose. And the beauty about this show is that sooner or later I can tag some people that are on Facebook and tell me, or they can chime in and they can, kind of tell a little bit about the story that I'm saying. But this guy, man, he had a beautiful voice, a very loud voice, but it was very similar to Vicente Fernandez's voice. And what he would do is in lunch, he would sing some songs out there, and he had a crowd around him. And I thought that was pretty neat. And you can hear this guy across the field, across the room. I mean, and he did that for a while. I got to meet him, and what then evolved later on. What happened is that I joined a mariachi group outside of school, and my good friend Mary Huerta and the Huerta family. And at that time, I was young. I mean, we were going out doing serenades on Mother's Days and asking parents for permission. And we had it was a caravan of cars, it was like about 10 or 12 cars going to everything, because all the parents were with the kids because everybody was still young. And but it was amazing because you were making money. And I was like, wow, this is pretty neat. You can make money. I didn't sing again at the time. I was just kind of doing choruses and things like that. I wasn't really, I wasn't the go-to guy to sing. Would actually pick up this guy that I was talking to you about in high school that was called La Gallina. And they picked him up. I think he went to a couple of gigs with us, and he was just like the show, like the star of the show. People just wanted to hear him because he sounded, so much like Vicente Fernandez. A good, charismatic guy. So I joined that group, and made a little money here on the side on the weekends. And what else are you going to do at a kid that age? And I really started enjoying the passion for mariachi. You get your suit done, and all the cool stuff. You get to go to weddings and quinceañeras, and the only parts I didn't like was going to sing at funerals. But we had our fair share of parties, and that's when that's when it all started. So at that point in high school, I had a friend of mine that was a little bit older than I was, Eddie Martinez, and he was a twin brother, a very good friend of mine, the Martinez family. Hello to all you guys if you happen to hear this. But he played an important part in my involvement for mariachi, because he always believed in me and said that I could be a part of this mariachi, genre or world that we were living in. A lot of the times, a lot of these guys that got involved in the mariachi as we got older, they were really, really technical about a lot of things. In music, there's a lot of discipline. There's so many things to follow if you're a musician, or if you're a certain kind of instrument. If you sing also in different voices, if you do first and second voices, third voices, there's rules to all of these things. And I was just more into it for the fun. I never really wanted to be that star trumpet player. I never really wanted to be that perfect person in mariachi. A lot of the guys that I know, they were, and matter of fact, they've come to be amazing teachers and instructors in high schools here in our Rio Grande Valley. And but a lot of that had to do with that's why I didn't make a lot of the groups that I tried to try out, or maybe I didn't really want to be a part of them. But my friend Eddie, getting back to Eddie, I remember one time he was in this group, and they were actually like the popular group of the time, and they had a gig going on, and they were actually going to practice at his house. And he's like, "Hey Pete, why don't you learn this part, man?" And I remember it was Yesterday by the by the Beatles, a mariachi version, and they were going to go play somewhere. I'm not sure if it was at the Quinta Mazatlan or something like that. But I said, "Bro, like it's a hard solo." He's like, "You can do it." And then I remember doing it before the practice started, and he's like, "Come on, try out. We need a trumpet player." And I really don't remember whether I tried out or not, or I played, but I know that I didn't get in the group. So a lot of things, kind of like, as a kid, you try out, you don't make it, you kind of get bummed out, and you don't try again. It's a little hard all around. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna spend your weekends playing mariachi, which is what I did for a long time, or do you find another hobby? Do you find something to do? I didn't really know where my place was at that time. Nor did I know that I can sing up until this one time that the mariachi in the high school, we had a gig at Med High, and I don't know exactly what happened, but I remember that they told me, well, throughout our gigs that we were having off school, I remember I learned this one song by Vicente Fernandez. It's called "Te lo juro por Dios," and I remember learning that song, and I just like had so much passion for that song, and I sang it. At Mid High, and I remember it was a good response. And I think after that, I was just, you know what, I kept on singing that song all the time. It's like, the repertoire wasn't that big back in the day in our groups. We just knew a couple of songs. We knew just enough for the hour to complete our job at this wedding or at this quinceañera or things like that. So whenever it'd be like, "Hey, tócame esta," or "Play this one," or "Play this other one," and it was just like, we didn't know that song, so it was kind of like, "Yeah, we'll get right to it." Because us, the trumpet players, and the group, that we didn't know them. We didn't know them. So good times, as growing up, and I've been going through the times in my life where, because mariachi is really where I've gone further in life and what I've been able to do. So, what happens after that is I form my own mariachi group with a friend of mine, and well, me and my friend Leo, actually, he's my compadre. We formed our own group. It was Mariachi Los Potrillos, and here we can sing whatever we wanted. We can play whatever we wanted. We can do whatever we wanted. We had so much fun doing it. So at this point, we can do. I was able to do my solos. I was able to do my own thing and arrange different what you call mixes, or in Spanish, potpourris of different songs, and it was a really cool time for us, because we were able to compete with other mariachi groups that were in the area, and not so much compete, but kind of make a name for yourself and things like that. So I've traveled, from the mariachis from the high school, and this is after we graduated, and I had already been into a couple of groups after that, just pretty much just being a trumpet player, and I was always like second trumpet player, not first. So you start making a little bit of money on the side, and it's okay. Well, now what do you do? Do you where do you go from here? You just continue your life. You get a job. You can do this on the weekends and things like that. That's pretty much what we were doing, just having fun. Friday nights were gigs. Saturdays were, you'd wake up, pretty much just start playing from like, I don't know, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon all the way till nighttime. So Sundays weren't that heavy, but that's pretty much that was my life for a couple of years. Didn't really have an outdoor or an outgoing life other than playing, and we just loved it. We just loved doing what we did. So after we started our mariachi group. I tried out for a rock band with my buddy. He took me for a rock band, and I don't know, that one they were just there for kicks, and they were just playing here and there, things like that. But I don't know, I guess I didn't make it for that either. So this is where I'm starting to sing, and for different types of events and things like that. So again, just late on in high school, that's when all of this started, and pretty much is just mariachi is what's been behind me, and what's been pretty much instilled in me and finding the passion for it. So many different styles of songs and mariachis. You have your rancheras, you have your huapangos, you have your sones, you have there's a boleros. I like them all. I'm privileged, and I want to say that I'm able to sing pretty much all those styles of music. Now, here's where I kind of just wanted to just separate myself from the other styles of mariachi, because there's mariachi music that is, how can I say it? Like there's just like it's beautiful arrangements. Like you have Mariachi Sol de Mexico, you have Mariachi Vargas at Tecalitlan, which I'll talk about in a while, as well in another episode, because I actually recorded my album with Mariachi Vargas at Tecalitlan. Actually, it was the musicians from the Mariachi Vargas and Jose Pepe Martinez, who is no longer alive, was my musical director along with Manuel Vargas at that point. How I got there is a very interesting story, because remember I said we started our group. After we started our group, I was living with my buddy Albert in an apartment here in McAllen, Texas, which right next door to us was a club. So it was called the Yacht Club. And here's where it really just made a big twist for me. The owner at the time there was like saying, "Hey, I have a mariachi group. We were there on a Tuesday night, and there was like literally nobody there. It was about like 2 or 3 people. Their main thing was like salsa and merengue and things like that, and that's what brought in the crowd and would make their money. But so I had an idea of bringing the mariachi group and just have people stand up with us and sing some songs. So this happened right in Christmas time. So we weren't even on the main stage. We were on the side. They gave us a little spot right there, and I don't even remember what they paid us or not. You know, it was kind of like one of those like whatever people come in, we pay you by the door. These are the times of where flyers are out there and things like that. You know, word of mouth. Excuse me. So we did that and quickly progressed to where more people were coming in. So they moved us to the main stage. That's when it got really, really interesting, because you know, it was a popular spot, and it was Tuesday night in the middle of the week, like school night, and so you would figure this thing really wouldn't really work out that much. But you know, this is where it really exploded for us as a mariachi group. We started that night, and you know, it was just made everything was just it was just so good. It was so crazy. Like, you know, it got to a point where we really couldn't even sing that many songs anymore, because we had to let the audience and the people that visited us that night play and sing themselves, because they were the star of the night. You know, it wasn't so much us, it was them. So we created this pretty much just monster, because, and this is the purpose of this podcast, because I want people to know what happens, what we've done, what I've done, what we've been a part of, the people that I've met, the people that have taught me in my life what I know. I'm in my early 40s, and I still think I have a lot to go. So, and I'm gonna say, like, you know, and it's for example, like with the Yacht Club, you know, we started that night. You know, I was a young kid, and I guess you can kind of say a little bit dumb, because if you really start thinking about things. And nowadays, I learned a lot from that night that we created, because if later on I started doing like music promotion myself. And I would pretty much ask like to get hired for a commission to bring people in and things like that. You know, that night, that Tuesday night that I and my friend Albert created, pretty much brought life to that club, because later on, the rest of the nights kind of dwindled down. A lot of things happened, I guess. You know, I was a part of that family, part of that group for a long time. Great group of people over there. But you know, I think the only thing that held value was that Tuesday night, because if any of you guys here in the RGV have ever been to the Yacht Club on a Tuesday night, I don't know about now, right? But before, or when it was in its prime time, you know, that was the night to go. That was the night. I don't care what nobody says. That's what it was. And later on, you know, what happened is that if you're asking yourself, how did I leave from there? That's when I took off to record my album. So I left the group and I left everything to go record an album in Mexico City. So, you know, I said my farewells and things like that, and things, you know, other matches started coming in friends of mine as well. They had different groups. I went back and I actually ran sound after a while. I know a little bit about sound, not as much as a lot of you guys, but I ran sound there, and it was amazing just to think what we had created. So I don't know, a lot of people don't like to really give credit for that, but it is what it is, and that's something that I can say. I was proud of doing. It was a group, it was a team effort. It was a mariachi. It was my friend Leo, my compadre Leo, myself. It was Albert Cardenas, and we. This is you're talking about. There was no Facebook. There was no. At least I don't think there was any Facebook. There was it was just like word of mouth. Call everybody up. If you have a birthday, come on Tuesday nights. I'd go sing for you and things like that. Which brings me to another topic. And so it's tough when you're a musician or an artist to have a relationship. And before I came on this first podcast, I said I told the family, I'm going to say it all. Everything's going to come out here. So it's just it's a tough it's a job. It's a job. It's my uncle who passed away a long time ago. I remember one time listening to an artist on Siempre en Domingo. If you guys know what Siempre en Domingo was, it was a show on Sundays by Raúl Velasco, and we were there, my dad and my uncle, my tío Héctor, and I don't remember who was singing, but they lost their voice, and I don't know what happened. It just basically the artist just shut down, didn't continue singing. So I said, "What happened? Why did that happen?" And he said, "It's because se le fue la voz, and he lost his voice." And he said, "It's because singing el cantar es un trabajo, mijos. It's a job. Some people have it naturally. Some people have to do work more than others. You have to take care of yourself." So anyhow, a lot of different things have shaped me, the people that I've grown up with, the people that I've met in my life, the roads that I've taken, and where have led me to today. I'm not I'm not even the least bit of a huge star in the mariachi industry, or much less in the music industry, but God has his reasons and his ways. God has his ways to do things, and maybe that wasn't my road at the time. Maybe it's now. Maybe it's, who knows? I mean, all I know is that I love to sing. I love to see smiles in people's faces. I'm just glad that I'm able to still do it. I had a performance on September the 16th, and a buddy of mine said, "You know what, man? We should record it live, show it to people right now that they're at home." It was a great idea, and I loved doing it. I enjoyed every single moment of it, and that's what inspired me to create my podcast, because I want to just tell you my story and get that out of the way. It'll be there forever. One of the things that I want to tell you all is, like, if you guys have any talent or anything like that, or anything you sing, or just go and record a song. I mean, just put it on put it on YouTube. You know how this is my personal opinion. It's like, I know we don't live forever, but if you can record your music and you can, think about it. Michael Jackson's been gone for years, but it's kind of like he's still alive because you can still hear his music. Every freaking Halloween we hear Thriller. How many times we hear El Rey, Jose Alfredo Jimenez, a lot of the composers, they still live among us because we enjoy their music. And that's something that I want to thank God for, because I've recorded an album that not only my kids can see, but if hopefully one day I have grandkids, or my family can always go to Spotify, wherever they listen to it, and say, "Hey, that's, I'm still here." At some point, my voice is there. This that I'm doing right now is going to be here forever, unless Facebook decides to just like disappear from the face of the earth or whatever. But this is the point where I just want to kind of just give you the first part of my music career and my journey, where I want to go and where I'm at, what I've done, who I've met, and what we've done up until now. So I'm leaving off at the Yacht Club where we did it, and how much success that place had. And it could have been a lot of other different things, but I honestly think that the biggest success of that night was Tuesday night. Live mariachis. They ended up later taking them off or something, or putting, like, I don't know, banda or stuff like that, which is fine. I mean, things change, things happen all the time. Change is good and things like that. But the seed that was planted was by myself and two other people. and the support of the staff and the ownership at that time that led to the future, all because of the talent that we had. I mean, we weren't, you know, a lot of mariachi groups. It's different because there's mariachis that are here that have come from Mexico or from their destination to come and make a living for themselves. I mean, these guys rent an apartment. If there's no gigs, there's no money. It's just bottom line. That's what it is. And then you have those of us that you know, we have a 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job, and we do this on our off time, on the weekends and the weekdays or whatever. You know, they're both honorable. It's just, you know, it's tough sometimes when all you have is the gigs. And I know a lot of them have suffered throughout these times because they don't have any gigs. Matter of fact, the guys that we hired for the 6 Septiembre, you know, it's been real slow. So a lot of interesting topics that we're going to have here. I want to interview, some of them will be in Spanish as well. I want to interview, like, for example, the life of a mariachi musician or a musician that's come here to solely live off of music. Interesting stories, guys, and I really appreciate it. I apologize because today, and I've done a lot. I have a podcast for my online outdoor apparel, and I run through that like nothing. And for some reason, this one, like, I still feel my heart pumping, and it's just I don't know what it is that has me so pumped up about this, but this is the first time ever that I get to tell my story about my music, about myself, because once I grab this microphone and there's music, or whether there's music or there's no music, it's just something different for me. It's what I am and what I love to do, so long as God gives me a chance to do that. I'm gonna end up with a couple of more little things. I was saying that it's hard for you to have this kind of field if you're solely a musician, because you're out late nights. You come back home late. You know, you have to entertain other people. It's a hard job, but someone's gonna do it. But you know, and it's just like, all jokes aside, sometimes, you know, it gets a little crazy, and you know, I'm not gonna lie. And there's been times where, you know, it's just like the fans do something, or you kind of get involved, or you're gonna go directly sing a birthday song to somebody, and then someone gets upset or jealous and things like that. And it's like, well, I mean, you have to just draw the line. I mean, that's what I'm gonna say. That's the way it is. I know people are gonna watch this and be like, "I'm best," like, this is gonna be, you know, it is what it is, and that's as a performer, you have to come across. That was one of the cool things about the Mariachi Los Potrillos that we had. We had guys and girls in the group. We chose our songs accordingly, and everybody had their own little, like, character, like, to perform their song, to shine their voice where they could. And it was just happy. Like, we would be happy to go and play. Like, it wasn't like yeah, we're gonna get paid and all that, but it was I mean, I'm talking about people just loved us, man. I mean, los potas me creman, like, not to just, like, tell us that, you know, but you know what? I honestly strongly believe that in our own way, we were the best. You know, not musically, or we didn't probably strike all the best in chords, and we probably weren't all in tune as other guys and friends that we have. They're just amazing. They're geniuses at what they do, and I respect that. Like, I've never ever said that I'm better than anybody. I just you know, everybody's got their own style. Everybody's got their own style. Everybody's got their own way of doing things. There's guys out there, man, that they don't know how to sing, but they know how to come across, and they know how to come up with their melodies and their songs and their music. And who cares if you don't know how to sing? I mean, you know, there's amazing singers. There's, you know, and that's one of the things that I wanted to tell you guys, that it's like, you know, there was a point where as I kept on learning more about mariachi, like, some people stay stuck in, like, in this little world of, like, oh, you this is like, it's hard to explain, but like, it's like, I love mariachi, like the true 100% mariachis, like Mariachi Vargas, like Mariachi Sol de Mexico and things like that. But to a certain point, like, to me, like, play me Alejandro Fernandez, play me San Vicente Fernandez. That's, to me, like, more like the commercial kind of side of things, you know. And that's one of the things that I encountered when I hit university. And I'm going to leave that one, or maybe I should, you know, we're at 35. That's fine. And I'm going to go right into it, because this is really where I got pushed to the next level. Okay. So I'm gonna omit a couple of names because I don't want to like directly point any fingers to anybody. I respect everybody at their time. This is a long time ago, but things shape you in life. Things you remember things, and I'm someone that remembers a lot of things. So it's good and it's bad because a lot of times they say you got to move on and things like that. But it's not nothing that like got me into any kind of trouble or anything like that. I'm just saying like look, you know if you're good at something, okay? At least if you believe in yourself and you have that self motivation, that that inside pride that you can do something. You go and you try something for it. And I'm gonna jump now into my university years. Although I only went 2 years to university, you know that. The university that we're at, it was like the best university in the mariachi genre because they had everything to show for it, and competitions and things like that. At the time that I had my mariachi group, I said, you know what? They were divided into two different groups, Group A and Group B. Of course, I was in Group B. Group A was like the one that went and competed, and the one that went and did this and did that, and everybody talks about and this and this and that. And, I am not here to tell anybody how to do their job or to do their things. I've coached kids before, and obviously you have your A team and you have your B team, but you have to treat the B team just as good as you treat your A team, because everybody has feelings, everybody has hearts, everybody has that ambition, everybody has that. Everybody lives for that moment where you get put in, And even if you bomb it, when you get put in, you go and you try again for the second time. Not everybody believes in that. A lot of the times you're stuck to the person that you want to have. You're stuck to this position. You're stuck to this plan that you don't want to change. If the plan's working, why change it, right? I mean, it makes sense. But, at this point, and I'm not going to elaborate too much into it, but I decided to try to join this mariachi group, and I just never got past the B team. You see, I wasn't trying to go into it as a trumpet player because I know I sucked. I mean, I look, I could play a couple of songs. I still remember a lot of them, and I can get through. But there's no way. There's these guys that are just amazing. They can play amazing mariachi and trumpets, and there's just no competition. But I tell you what, I knew that I could stand my ground singing. I knew it, but I never got the opportunity. I never did. And yes, we're live streaming. Maybe someone will hear it. Maybe somebody won't hear it, but who cares? This is what this podcast is about. All about music, about musicians' careers, DJs, composers, producers, anybody that wants to tell their story. And I want to share that. There's so many different ways that we can look at this and talk about this. And just at the end of the day, hey, at the end of the day, it's music. Music moves the world. There's so many we use music for everything. When we're cleaning, when we're having a good time, when we're depressed, when we want to work out. Like what are we pressing? We're pressing music. Yes, I'm talking about mariachi, but don't dog mariachi. Mariachi isn't always boring like some people say. No, I know mariachi music. And this is like a Mexican person with a nopal in the head and stuff. I know. I don't listen to mariachi. Come on, man. You just haven't listened to the correct songs. So, and a lot of the times mariachi has now evolved into a more like a more, what can I say? Like you have like the Cristian Odal. I love what that kid has done. He doesn't even wear a mariachi suit and he sings mariachi, Then you have the greats, you have like the Pepe Aguilars, you have Alejandro Fernandez's, you have, of course, Mairo, Vicente Fernandez, and it has done a lot of twists. And the thing is, the thing about it is like you ask someone about Mariachi Sol de Mexico, they probably won't know who that is. You ask somebody about Mariachi Vargas, they probably don't know who that is. People from the Valley, they probably know Mariachi Campanas de America from Fiesta, Texas. But it's just mariachi is a music genre that it's always had the same instruments. And someone can come in here and correct me if I'm wrong, but It never changes. There's so many styles of music that has changed over the years. It changes. Like, you know, you have the 70s kind of music, you have the 80s kind of music, you have the 90s kind of music, you have the, you know, it's just so many different genres, but mariachi has never, it's always sounded the same. Well, back in the first days, they would record with one trumpet, which I can't stand one trumpet. I need to have two to have that melody nice and strong. But that's the beauty about it. So yes, I never got the chance to sing with the University of Mariachi. Matter of fact, I think one time we made a trip to a competition to the Mariachi Malagas Extravaganza, and I think one time here, no, I don't think, I know, when they were here in the Valley, I actually we sponsored as a group the limousine for the Mariachi Vargas, and they rode in that, and we're all proud. They didn't even mention our name on the freaking stage. So I remember all of us were upset, but you know, we got to hang out with them for a little bit, and we, you know, I guess that was good enough for us. But we wanted recognition, you know, we wanted recognition, but I don't know what or who or whatever. You know, we had told them that's what we did, and it was supposed to announce us, and that didn't happen. Anyhow, of course, the University Mariachi is super involved into this extravaganza, and you know, and then it goes on to San Antonio, Texas. So in San Antonio, what happened is we, you know, they announced it in the university at one of the practices, and if you can go, you want to go on your own, you can go on your own, and things like that. So I decided to go with a couple of guys from the mariachi group, and we went and checked out the Mariachi Vargas Extravaganza in San Antonio. And you know, I'll remember, and this is probably the only time that I've said this. I don't think I've ever told anybody this, and it's something that I always look back to, and it always pumps me up, and it makes me go more and more and more. And I got away from music for so long that I'm glad to be back. And this is one of the moments that brings me back to getting into music. I was at the facility where they were practicing before they go into stage, and I was behind some doors, and you can hear them practice inside. And they sounded amazing, man. They sounded beautiful, beautiful. Like, no se les quita. Like, they were amazing musicians, beautiful musicians. You know, a great teacher. You know, but for some reason, I don't know if maybe that teacher just didn't like me or what. Because I remember one time I played a cassette, because I was talking about cassette times. And they said Vicente Fernandez was off key, and he would look in here and this, that, just criticizing left and right a song by Vicente Fernandez. And obviously I didn't like that. But anyway, who cares? But I was standing behind that door. Nobody knew I was there. And listening to them, and I said, if I only had a chance to go on there one time on that stage. Because these stages are beautiful, beautiful, big stages with amazing sound. So, you know, well, that never happened. That never happened, nor will it ever happen. It's time. You know, these are things in the past, and you learn to move on. And it's like, that's just like, so you know what? If these guys don't give me the chance, I'm gonna do it myself. So I continued with my group, and I continued with my music and playing and things like that. You know, I'm in my 20s, and along came, well, we were already living, we were rooming already with the Journey, with the Yacht Club. But my friend Albert says, hey, let's record a demo. I'll sponsor you. Let's get into the studio, which was at Chewy's studio, Pro Sounds. I believe it's still there, over here in Mission or south of McAllen, Texas. And that's where it gets even more interesting. So I want you guys to please stay tuned. I'm going to probably come back on either tonight or tomorrow, but this is going to be available already. I already submitted this podcast to a lot of the platforms. We're already on 7 of them, including Spotify. So if you guys don't mind, just please share this. And this is actually being recorded live on our music page, on Facebook as well, and on our YouTube channel. So guys, I'm going to leave you off right here. And make sure to follow me on Spotify. I shared a little bit of it before we started, But here, if you go to Spotify, you just go to Pedro Garcia, and then that's the album Voy a hacer por olvidarte. There's so much history and so much putting into, and I want to share all that with you. How long it took to record the album, what you go through when you record the album, good times, bad times, things you have to sacrifice to go through recording and trying to chase your dream. A lot of beautiful things that I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm super excited. I'm kind of relaxed already after 45 minutes of the show, but I apologize for being so uptight at the beginning. I'm just so excited about this, and I'm so nervous at the same time. And I'm just, I'm not gonna ever talk. I'm not. How can I explain this? Like, in other words, I'm just gonna say how it is, and I'm not here to accuse anybody or say anything. I'm just simply telling my story of how I am, where I'm at now, how I want to get back into my what I love to do, which is music, my passion, and that's what it's about. If you know anybody that's a musician and it's okay with them, it's okay, they want to come, they want to be a part of our show, please let them know that I can definitely bring them on, and I want to let them be a part of this and share their story and go on and so forth. So there's no restrictions. Just let's come on, and we'll play a little bit of your music if you have any. But if you guys, I still have CDs. If any of y'all's cars still play CDs, text 474747 and I'll send y'all one. Not a lot of graphic. It's not worth much, but hey, I'll send it to you guys. Just take care of the shipping, because I can't take care of the shipping, but I send it to you. If it's no use for you, then it's okay. You can find me on Spotify and iTunes, Amazon, iHeart Music Radio. Anywhere you stream your music, I'm there. Pedro Garcia, Voy a hacer por olvidarte. We're on TikTok. We're on Spotify. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Pedro Garcia Music. So, guys, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I encourage you to do. We go live on there. We're going to be a lot more music where that came from. Thank you very, very much for those of you guys that commented today. This is brand new. Thank you, Adriana. The Holiday Inn, the one bar downtown, yes, on Broadway, and Ambiente was also a good time. Yes, it was. Thank you, Adriana, for chiming in. And Luis, good to see you also. Luis, Alberto, Silva, make sure you go follow them. And thank you so much, guys. And I'll let you go with this one. Don't stop chasing your dreams, guys. Always, it's never too late. Every day that you wake up, it's a new opportunity. If you didn't do it yesterday, you can do it today. Don't let it slide. Whatever it is you may, if it's not in music, if it's something you want to do, something you want to try, just if you believe in yourself. Don't let anybody else tell you you can't do it. You believe in yourself, you can do it. It's your idea, it's your life, it's in your hands. You just got to go out there and do it. If you need any help, message me. I'll try to help you as much as I can. But don't stop, guys. We only live once. We're here for who knows how long. So make it happen. You can live here forever. And thank you guys again. Pedro Garcia signing out. Appreciate it. Share this broadcast. Bye.